Let's talk about something men rarely admit out loud. How do you make a woman miss you, even if she isn't interested in the first place? At first, it sounds impossible. After all, if she doesn't care, why would she ever think about you? But that's where most men are wrong. The truth is, interest isn't fixed. A woman's perception of you can shift dramatically depending on how you carry yourself, how you respond to rejection, and more importantly, how you control your presence and absence in her life. Welcome back, gentlemen. If you're new here, this channel is all about giving men the real tools to win back their power in dating and relationships. Not fantasy, not corny pickup lines, real strategies that work in today's world. And today's topic, it's one of the most powerful shifts you can make. Now here's where things get controversial. Women don't miss the guy who bends over backwards for them. They don't miss the guy who texts them all day. They don't even miss the guy who tells them he'll wait forever. They miss the man who walks away with certainty. The man who shows through his actions that his life is full whether she's in it or not. Scarcity creates value. Indifference creates intrigue. And confidence creates desire. Most men sabotage themselves because they chase validation. They want her to notice, so they overcompensate. But the paradox is this: the less you try to be noticed, the more unforgettable you become. That's why a woman who once ignored you can suddenly start replaying your name in her mind. So, in this video, I'll break down the exact steps that make her miss you, no matter where you stand with her right now. 1. Why chasing her makes you invisible. Every man has been told at some point that if you really like a woman, you have to show her. You've got to call, text, plan dates, and make sure she knows you're serious. Sounds good in theory, right? But here's the catch. The more you chase her, the more you actually disappear from her radar. It sounds backward, but that's exactly how it works. When you're constantly chasing, you stop being a mystery. You stop being a challenge. You stop being a man she needs to figure out. And instead, you become a man she already feels she owns without lifting a finger. Think about it this way. Value is determined by scarcity. If she can have your attention anytime she wants, without earning it, what does it mean to her? Nothing. It's like air. She breathes it, but she doesn't think about it. Now imagine if you took that same attention and pulled it back. Suddenly she notices the difference. Suddenly she's wondering why you're not orbiting around her like every other guy. That's when curiosity kicks in. That's when she starts missing you. Most men hate this reality because it feels unfair. They think, why do I have to pull back for her to notice me? Why can't she just appreciate me for giving her my best? The truth is, appreciation doesn't work that way in attraction. Desire is built on tension, not comfort. Comfort comes later, once she's already invested in you. But in the beginning, if you give her everything too easily, she has nothing left to crave. Here's what chasing really does. It communicates that you don't value yourself as much as you value her. It tells her, without words, that she's the prize and you're the pursuer. And once she sees herself as the prize, your stock plummets. That's why men who over-pursue end up ignored, ghosted, or placed in the dreaded friend zone. She can't miss you if you're always there. The controversial truth most won't admit is this: the less you chase, the more you stand out. It's not about playing cold or being rude. It's about refusing to hand her what she hasn't earned. That's where respect is born. That's where desire begins. And that's why chasing her never makes her love you. It makes you invisible. 2. The silent power of walking away. Every man eventually faces this crossroad. Do you keep holding on, or do you walk away? Most men make the mistake of holding on too tightly, thinking persistence will eventually win her over. But here's the reality. Nothing captures a woman's attention more than the silence of a man who decides to walk away. That silence speaks louder than 1,000 texts, calls, or gifts ever could. Walking away is powerful because it forces her to confront something she never expected, the possibility of losing your presence. When you're always available, she takes you for granted. You're just part of the background noise in her life, But when you pull back completely, she suddenly realizes that the energy, attention, and validation she once received from you is gone. And humans by nature notice absence more than presence. It's like a song that stops in the middle of your favorite part. You can't ignore it, you crave the resolution. Here's the mistake most men make. They think walking away is weak, like giving up, but it's actually the strongest move you can make. Why? Because it shows you don't need her. You're not begging for her approval. You're not trapped in the cycle of trying to prove yourself worthy. Instead, you're signaling that your value stands with or without her recognition. That confidence is magnetic. That certainty shakes her world more than any compliment or sweet gesture ever could. And here's the part that stings for a lot of men to hear. Walking away often does more to raise your value than staying around ever will. When you stay, you give her control. She decides how much attention you get. She decides if you're a priority or just an option. But when you walk away, you take back the power. You show her that your time, your energy, and your presence aren't cheap. They're earned. The silent power of walking away doesn't mean slamming the door in anger or cutting ties with bitterness. It means calmly stepping back and letting her feel what life is like without you in it. It means being strong enough to withhold contact, even when every part of you wants to reach out. It's not about punishment, it's about discipline. Discipline to hold yourself to a higher standard, even when it's uncomfortable. And the irony is, that's exactly when she starts to miss you. She starts asking herself why you're not chasing anymore. She starts replaying her interactions with you, wondering if she made a mistake. She feels the absence, and in that absence, desire grows. So remember this: walking away doesn't end the story. More often than not, it rewrites it. 3. How indifference flips her attraction switch. If there's one behavior that confuses women the most, it's indifference. Most men think showing interest is the only way to win a woman's heart. They believe the more effort, compliments, and attention they give, the more likely she'll notice them. But the reality is this: when you stop caring so much, when you show genuine indifference to her approval, that's when her attraction switch gets flipped. Why does this happen? Because people naturally crave what they can't easily have. If you're always available, she doesn't need to think about you. But if you're not waiting on her every word, if you don't hang on to every text, if you don't seem overly invested, suddenly you become unpredictable. And unpredictable men are interesting. Predictable men are forgettable. Here's where most guys get it wrong. They try to fake indifference. They'll act like they don't care, but inside they're waiting by the phone hoping she'll notice. Women can sense that. Indifference isn't about pretending. It's about genuinely being fine with or without her. It's about living a life so full, so purposeful, that her interest becomes a bonus, not the center of your world. That's the difference between an act and authenticity. The controversial part is this: women are more drawn to the men who don't need them than the men who chase them. Not because women are cruel, but because confidence and self-sufficiency are rare. When you stop needing her validation, you stand out from the crowd of men who constantly beg for it. She may not show it right away, but the shift happens inside her. She starts wondering why you're not trying as hard. She starts questioning if maybe she misjudged you. And once doubt creeps in, attraction starts to grow. Indifference also communicates strength. It shows that you can control your emotions instead of being ruled by them. Most men let their feelings dictate their actions. They get a little attention from her and they're hooked. But the man who stays centered, the one who can remain composed whether she's interested or not, creates a powerful impression. That man stands apart because he's not playing her game. And here's the beauty of it: true indifference isn't about ignoring her, it's about not needing her. You can still be kind, you can still engage, but your happiness isn't tied to whether or not she likes you. That's what makes it real, and ironically, that's what makes her start chasing you. So remember, indifference isn't coldness, it's confidence. It's the ability to walk into her world without losing yourself in it, and once you master that, you'll discover just how quickly attraction can flip in your favor. 4. Scarcity makes her question your value. Let's look at this through the lens of a real relationship. Imagine a man named David. He's been with his girlfriend Lisa for 2 years. In the beginning, everything was exciting. He had his own life, his hobbies, his goals. She felt lucky to be a part of his world because she knew he wasn't always available. But as time passed, David made the mistake many men make. He put Lisa at the center of everything. His hobbies slowed down, nights with his friends disappeared, and his personal ambitions took a back seat. Suddenly, Lisa had all of him, all the time. At first, she appreciated it, but soon she stopped valuing it. Why? Because scarcity was gone. His attention was always there, no matter how she treated him. And when something is always there, it loses its shine. Lisa didn't stop loving David overnight, but she started questioning his value. Not because he wasn't a good man, but because his presence was too abundant. Now picture a different version of David. Instead of giving up everything for her, he maintained his independence. He still worked on his goals, stayed consistent with his gym routine, and kept time with his friends. He wasn't always at her beck and call, and sometimes she had to wait for his time. That scarcity, the reality that his presence was limited, made Lisa think twice. It forced her to ask, what if I lose him? Do I matter as much to him as he matters to me? That tension, that little spark of uncertainty, reignites attraction. Scarcity doesn't mean neglect. It means not being too available. It means she has to earn access to your time and energy. And this principle applies whether you're dating, in a relationship, or even married. Think about it. When a man spends every second trying to prove his love, he's seen as desperate. But when a man has a balanced life, when he offers love without sacrificing himself, he's seen as valuable. Women, by nature, are drawn to men who are a little out of reach. Not unreachable, but not overly accessible either. It's the reason why she'll replay conversations with a man who's hard to figure out, while she ignores the one who's constantly blowing up her phone. Scarcity builds mystery. Mystery builds attraction. And attraction makes her question her decisions. So if you want her to miss you, even if she's not interested right now, stop making yourself a constant. Pull back, not in anger, but in confidence. Focus on building your world and let her feel the difference when you're not always there. Just like Lisa with David, she'll start questioning your value the moment she realizes she doesn't have unlimited access to you. 5. Why attention kills desire every time. One of the biggest mistakes men make is thinking women fall for constant attention. They believe if they text her all day, shower her with compliments, and never let a moment pass without reminding her she's special, she'll finally see their worth. But the truth is, nothing destroys attraction faster than excessive attention. Instead of making her desire you, it makes her bored, even irritated. Here's where most men go wrong. They tell her things like, I can't stop thinking about you. You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. Or, I'll do anything to make you happy. At first it sounds sweet, but soon it becomes predictable. She doesn't have to wonder how you feel. She doesn't have to earn anything. She knows she can have you without lifting a finger. And what's easily earned is rarely valued. Attention also kills desire, because it flips the roles. She becomes the one being pursued, and you become the pursuer. In her eyes, you're no longer the man with options. You're the man desperate for hers. That desperation is unattractive. It tells her without words that your world revolves around her. So, what's the right approach? First, understand this. Women don't want to hear you worship them 24/7. They want to feel that your attention is meaningful because it's not given to everyone. Instead of saying, I'll do anything for you, a better statement is, I have standards too, and I only give my time to people who respect them. Instead of, I need you in my life, it's more powerful to say, I enjoy spending time with you, but I'm good on my own too. See the difference? One communicates desperation, the other communicates strength. The right way to give attention is with balance. When you acknowledge her beauty or effort, let it come naturally and sparingly, not as a constant stream. Praise her when she's earned it, not when you're trying to win her over. This makes your words carry weight. She knows you mean it because you don't say it every hour of the day. And here's another truth. Pulling back your attention forces her to invest. If she's used to you initiating all the time, stop. Let her reach out. If she's used to endless validation, stop giving it. Instead, let her prove that she deserves your focus. This shift alone will change the dynamic in your favor. So remember, attention isn't bad in itself. It only becomes destructive when it's constant and unearned. Use it wisely. Make it rare. Make it valuable. Because the moment she realizes your attention is not guaranteed, that's the moment she begins to crave it again. 6. The reverse effect of ignoring her properly. When most men hear the phrase ignore her, they imagine it means being rude, cutting her off completely, or acting like she doesn't exist. That's not what I mean at all. Ignoring her properly is not about disrespect. It's about creating space. And when it's done the right way, it has a powerful reverse effect. Instead of pushing her away, it pulls her closer. Here's the mistake most guys make. They either smother a woman with too much attention, or they swing to the other extreme and try to ignore her out of frustration. Both approaches backfire. Too much attention makes you look desperate. Cold indifference makes you look bitter. The real power lies in balance, stepping back just enough to make her notice the gap without turning it into a punishment. Think of it like this. Imagine you've been texting her every day, always being the one to start conversations, always making sure she knows you're there. Then one day, you stop. You don't announce it. You don't make a speech about how she never appreciates you. You just shift your energy back into your own life. You focus on your goals, your health, your work, your friends. Suddenly, she feels the silence. She starts to wonder why you're not reaching out. And in that wondering, she begins to think about you more than she did when you were constantly available. That's the reverse effect of ignoring her properly. It doesn't mean disappearing forever. It means teaching her, through your actions, that your attention has to be earned. It means giving her the space to feel your absence so she can actually miss you. What makes this so effective is the psychology behind it. People value what they can't always have. When your attention is constant, it loses meaning. But when it's limited, it becomes valuable. Ignoring her properly signals that your life is full, that you're not sitting around waiting for her, that independence is magnetic. It makes her see you in a new light, not as the man begging for her attention, but as the man strong enough to withhold it. The key is subtlety. You don't announce your move. You don't post online trying to make her jealous. You don't send cryptic messages about how you're done. You simply step back with confidence. And here's the twist. The moment you do, she starts testing. She'll text you randomly, ask small questions, or try to provoke a response. Why? Because she wants to know if she still has access to you. That's when you know it's working. So remember this. Ignoring her properly isn't cruelty. It's strategy. It's about creating the right kind of silence that forces her to feel your value. And when you master that, you'll see how quickly the roles change. Instead of you chasing her, she starts chasing you. 7. How mystery makes her miss what she never had. There's a simple truth in attraction that most men overlook. Curiosity is stronger than comfort. When a woman feels like she has you completely figured out, she loses interest. But when she's left wondering, when she can't quite put her finger on who you are or what you're about, that mystery makes her think about you far more than she admits. And here's the surprising part. A woman can actually miss you even if she never truly had you in the first place, as long as you leave her with unanswered questions. Let's break this down. Most men reveal too much too soon. They overshare their feelings, their schedules, their intentions. They make themselves predictable. Predictability kills excitement. If she knows you'll text every morning, call every night, and repeat the same compliments, she has no reason to wonder about you. You've given her the whole script, and once she knows the ending, the story isn't worth reading anymore. Mystery, on the other hand, keeps her invested. It's not about playing games. It's about holding something back. It's about letting her discover you piece by piece instead of dumping everything on the table at once. When she doesn't know what you'll say next, or when she can't predict how you'll respond, she pays more attention. That unpredictability is addictive. Think about the guy she briefly dated, who didn't open up completely, who had his own life going on, who never revealed all of his cards. Even if she let him go, she still replays him in her mind. Not because he was perfect, but because he left parts of himself undiscovered. That mystery lingers. It creates a space in her thoughts, and that space is exactly where missing you begins. The mistake men make is believing that transparency equals attraction. Yes, honesty matters. Yes, trust matters. But attraction thrives on curiosity. You don't need to tell her every detail of your past, every plan for your future, or every emotion you feel. Save something for later. Keep parts of yourself sacred. Make her earn the right to know those deeper layers. Here's the powerful lesson. Women rarely miss what they already have unlimited access to, but they do miss what they almost had, the pieces of you they glimpsed but never fully held on to. That gap between what she knows and what she still wonders about becomes a mental loop, replaying in her head when she least expects it, and the more she thinks, the more she feels. So, the next time you're tempted to spill everything to prove you're different from other men, resist. Let her discover you over time. Let her feel the thrill of peeling back layers. Because mystery isn't just attractive, it's unforgettable, and it's often the very thing that makes her miss you long after you're gone. At the end of the day, making a woman miss you isn't about tricks or games. It's about shifting the power back into your hands. When you stop chasing, when you walk away, when you show indifference, scarcity, balance, and mystery, you create the space for her to feel your value. Most men give themselves away too easily, and that's why they're forgotten. But the man who controls his presence is the man she can't stop thinking about. Remember, brother, your time and energy are the prize. Treat it that way, and she'll never forget you.